Good evening. You're watching the main news on HOY International Business Channel. I'm Raymond Yeung. Here are tonight's top stories. The health chief brushes off risk fears because of subpar coating to protect Kwong Wah Hospital cables. Major Hong Kong banks keep prime rates unchanged, in line with the decision by the Monetary Authority and the US Federal Reserve. And President Xi Jinping leads mourners paying tribute to late former Premier Li Keqiang. The government is looking into allegations that a coating material to protect cables in Kwong Wah Hospital is thinner than required. The health chief says there's no threat to patients or the building, but an expert is skeptical. Janice Low reports.
One of the city's oldest hospitals, Kwong Wah, had a facelift more than 5 months ago. But it was recently alleged in the media that the zinc used as coating to protect cables was thinner than required. The hospital authority ordered the main contractor and contractor to conduct reviews and random tests. And an independent expert has taken samples to check in a laboratory. Health Chief Lo Chung-Mao said there's no risk to people in the hospital or the building. But construction engineer Jason Poon disagreed.
When the sandwich coating and the cinch coating on the trunking is thinner than the specification requirement, we may directly expect that the durability of the trunking itself will be decreased. When the trunking is seriously washed due to the non-compliance of the cinch coating, etc., then the cable inside will be exposed. Wet can easily bite the cables, or electrician or a technician may easily damage the cables or accidentally. When the cable damaged, the electricity will be temporarily bled out.
Poon said any blackout could seriously disrupt hospital operations. He suggested applying zinc-rich painting or getting the coating changed to compliant materials. But Poon said if the hospital wants a different coating material, it has to close for at least 3 months because the work can only be done when the electricity is cut off. Janice Low, Cable News.
Hong Kong's major banks have kept their borrowing costs unchanged, in line with the US Federal Reserve's decision to hold rates steady. HSBC, Hang Seng Bank and Bank of China are maintaining their Hong Kong dollar prime rate at 5.875%. The rate last went up by 1/8 of a percentage point in late July. The Monetary Authority also maintained its base rate, keeping it at 5.75%. But Chief Executive Eddie Yu insisted it is too early to say whether the rate hike cycle has concluded. He was responding to comments by his US counterpart, who noted that inflation remained well above the desired level, even though it was moderating.
Inflation remains well above our longer-run goal of 2%. Total PCE prices rose 3.4% over the 12 months ending in September. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.7%. Evidence of growth persistently above potential, or that tightness in the labor market is no longer easing, could put further progress on inflation at risk and could warrant further tightening of monetary policy.
Back in Hong Kong, the government has not ruled out a suggestion for urban homeowners to avoid immediate demolition if they declare minor illegal structures. But Development Chief Bernadette Lin said it would be a fantasy to include the upmarket Red Hill Peninsula estate in such a plan. Janice Yeung reports.
The government says it has not ruled out suggestions to allow owners in urban areas to declare that they have small illegal structures in their homes. This is the case in the new territories where immediate demolition is avoided if owners disclose unauthorized structures that pose little risk. Such a policy allows the government to focus on large-scale illegal works that could endanger the public. Responding to proposals by lawmakers to allow urban owners to have the same option, Development Chief Bernadette Lin says the idea is feasible, but it can only apply to small-scale structures.
呢啲晾衫架、呢啲冷氣機嘅呢個支架。
Extended clothing hangers or air conditioner support frames can be considered, she said. But to include cases like the Red Hill Peninsula, that is definitely a fantasy, Lin noted. A landslide triggered by a rainstorm in September exposed illegal structures and the unauthorized use of government land in the upscale Red Hill Peninsula estate in Tai Tam. At least 3/4 of the 80 luxury homes in the estate are said to have breached the regulations. Janice Yu, Cable News.
Flags at key sites in Hong Kong flew at half-mast today in honor of former Premier Li Keqiang. In Beijing, President Xi Jinping led senior leaders in paying tribute to the man dubbed the People's Premier. Janice Low reports.
Security was beefed up in Beijing as Li Keqiang, the former number 2 leader, was laid to rest. Thousands of people gathered near a funeral home where the body of the former premier was scheduled to be cremated. As the cortege passed by, mourners paid their respects to the man regarded as the people's premier. Before the cremation, President Xi Jinping and his wife Peng Liyuan paid tribute to Li and extended their condolences to his widow Cheng Hong at the auditorium of the Babaoshan Revolutionary Cemetery. Li's successor Li Keqiang was also among the mourners, who included senior government and Communist Party officials. The former premier died of a sudden heart attack in Shanghai last Friday at the age of 68. His death came as a surprise as he was not known to have any chronic illness. Li stepped down in March after serving 2 5-year terms. Flags across the country, as well as at diplomatic missions abroad, were flown at half-mast in his honor. The same tribute was paid in Hong Kong at designated places, including Government House. No arrangements have been made locally so far to commemorate Li. Janice Low, Cable News.
Overseas, the United Nations Human Rights Commission has condemned Israel's attacks on the Jabalia Palestinian refugee camp, saying it could amount to a war crime. The airstrikes were also denounced by the head of the world body.
The Secretary General is appalled over the escalating violence in Gaza, including the killing of Palestinians, including women and children, in Israeli airstrikes in residential areas of the densely populated Jabalia refugee camp. The Secretary General reiterates that all parties must abide by international law, international humanitarian law, including the principles of distinction, proportionality, and precaution. He condemns in the strongest terms any killings of civilians.
Hamas said at least 195 Palestinians were killed and over 700 injured in the air raids on Tuesday and yesterday. Another 120 are trapped under the rubble. Israel released footage of its forces stepping up their offensive in Gaza. It said its troops killed dozens of Hamas fighters after penetrating their defense positions. 17 Israeli soldiers have been killed in the Gaza offensive, which was launched after a Hamas raid left 1,400 people dead in Israel. Israeli bombardments killed more than 9,000 Palestinians, 40% of whom were children. The government says there's been a 25% jump in the number of financial technology firms in Hong Kong. Participants at Fintech Week also heard that Hong Kongers visiting Thailand will no longer have to exchange their dollars for baht. Chloe Fong reports.
From December the 4th, Hong Kongers can use a faster payment system, or FPS, in Thailand, the first country to accept the Hong Kong settlement method.
In the coming Christmas and New Year holiday, when you visit Thailand, you can actually use your FPS wallet to scan and pay over 8 million prompt pay merchants around Thailand without really having the hassle of exchanging Hong Kong dollar to Thai baht beforehand.
The same will apply to Thai visitors who can use their prompt pay system at 50,000 Hong Kong FPS merchants that accept QR code payments. Yue said the initiative will make cross-border payments easier. Kwong Yue, Financial Secretary Po Chen revealed that the government is ramping up cross-boundary collaboration, including expanding the use of the digital yuan.
Recently, an eCNY pilot project was initiated at the Hangzhou Asian Games for the use by Hong Kong delegates. Members were able to top up their eCNY wallets via FPS, the faster payment system. We are encouraging more eCNY applications, for example, facilitating the eCNY wallet to be used in Hong Kong by mainland visitors.
Chen was speaking at the 8th edition of Fintech Week. In his opening address, Chief Executive John Lee hailed Hong Kong's development in financial technology.
You are here because Hong Kong is made for fintech companies, entrepreneurs, and investors. We are one of the world's leading financial centers and China's major financial center. No other economy can claim our unique advantage under the one country, two systems principle.
Lee said a new integrated fund platform will be set up to strengthen connectivity between Hong Kong's fund sector and the mainland's markets. There will also be a subsidy scheme for green fintech innovations. Hong Kong is home to about 1,000 fintech firms and startups, a 25% jump from a year ago. Clayton, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up by 128 points. To the top 10 active stocks, the tracker fund was up 14 cents. Tencent picked up $1.60, while Xiaomi was up 86 cents. SMIC was down 15 cents, but Alibaba was up 90 cents. The forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.33. 1,000 Japanese yen will get you 52 Hong Kong dollars, while the Australian dollar is at 5.03. And finally, in Europe, the London FTSE is currently up 86 points. And finally, the weather. Mainly fine tomorrow, with temperatures ranging between 24 and 29 degrees. More of the same on Saturday, but a couple of showers on Sunday. And that's our main news for Thursday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Raymond Yeung. Good evening.